Hey there, adventurers! We're hitting the road again for our summer adventure, heading northwest to the stunning Vancouver Island. We took some time packing up the Jeep for a few days in advance since we were waiting on our new EcoFlow alternator to show up. I always leave the packing of the Jeep up to Chris so he can figure out the puzzle, and when you are living on the road for 30 days, you need a good amount of gear. I spent those days cooking and getting meals ready for the road. We hit the pavement, and day one was to consist of driving through Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, and finally into South Dakota. We made a pit stop at a rest area where we enjoyed some delicious tofu tacos I had prepped. Even cold, they were still tasty. Our goal was to make it to a free camping spot on a river near Chamberlain, South Dakota, that we had found last summer. As we drove in, flash flood warnings started popping up and it began to pour. But hey, part of the adventure is being able to change up plans. We ended up sleeping inside the Jeep at a beautiful rest stop for the night. Good morning. We successfully spent the night here at this rest stop, which is actually pretty peaceful and pretty little place to stay along the river in South Dakota. We rode out the storms. It was pretty quiet and the rain was actually kind of soothing on the Jeep, but sleeping in the Jeep is never fun and doesn't make for a very good night's sleep. But now we are off. It's about 5:30 in the morning and we're going to be heading towards Montana today. So we're off to an earlier start than yesterday. We'll see how it goes. Onward through South Dakota and Montana we went. Buddy, our adventure dog, loves sitting high in the Jeep watching the world just pass us by. Hey everyone, welcome to the end of day 2. Sorry, I had a bug on me. We are in Montana along a beautiful river but close to the freeway, so there is some freeway noise. Chris is busy setting up the tent over there on the other side of the bridge. It's not the most ideal spot, but it'll do. We're just going to sleep here for the night. I actually had an end of day video for yesterday. Chris and I did, and I taped it on slow-mo, so it doesn't look very good. But yesterday we made it all the way to this Chamberlain, South Dakota, and we had picked out this really pretty spot that we had found last year along the river. And while we were driving there, we kept getting flash flood warning alerts on the Jeep, and then it started to downpour, and it didn't stop. So by the time we made it to Chamberlain, it was downpouring, pools of water everywhere, and we decided that staying along the river was probably not the best idea. And trying to set up a rooftop tent, although it's easy, is not a good idea in pouring down rain. So we actually slept inside the Jeep at a rest stop. So it wasn't a very restful night's sleep, and today has been a very long day of driving, but we made it to Montana. We're not too far out of Missoula, but heading further north tomorrow. We're going to set up the tent, eat some pre-made food that I made, and get to bed and hopefully get a good night's sleep tonight. And we will see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning from Montana. We had packed up early and we are hitting the road. This is our view.
Minus all the bugs on the window.
Beautiful. We're driving to some grocery outlets. We discovered those a few years ago and I love that store, and we have none in the Midwest, so we're going to stop at a few and maybe stock up on some goodies, and then we should be crossing the border into Canada today and maybe hitting a trail.
Should hopefully be in Canada in about 5 or 6 hours from now. Hopefully we don't get denied at the border for some crazy reason.
Shouldn't be any reason, but you never know. So
grocery outlets are a great place to find some cheap food, especially on the vegan side for us.
Yeah, so
that's why we like to try to stop at those when we're actually in the areas that have them.
So we will keep you posted on how it goes. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
We made it to our first grocery outlet.
Yay!
In Smelterville, Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna see what kind of good stuff they got in there.
Hopefully it's good.
Yum yum. So this is our first haul in Smelterville, Idaho grocery outlet. We're gonna hit 2 more before we go to Canada, just to see what they got. But we had some poppy that we've had all the cans except for the cherry fizz. Even though it looks like a Christmas poppy, we had to try it. And then some other kombuchas that we've never had before. And this is oatmeal, which we've never seen before or tried. And we're gonna be kind of excited to try that, see what it turns out to be like. And only spent 45 bucks. May not seem like a lot for 45 bucks, but when you shop on the East Coast, it's a lot for 45 bucks.
This bag is $16 on Amazon, $7 here.
Yep. That is $16 on Amazon, and we paid $7 for the same size bag.
After stocking up at Grocery Outlet, we hit the road again, making our way through Idaho, Washington, and into beautiful British Columbia, Canada. The border crossing was a breeze, just a few questions, and we were on our way.
Day 3, and we made it to British Columbia.
Yep. We're about 5 minutes, 10 minutes from Rossland, British Columbia, which is where we plan on picking up a off-road trail, heading over to Christina Lake, and then onward to Vancouver Island. But
Enjoy the scenery.
yeah.
See you soon.
Yep.
We hit our first trail near Christina Lake, but our camera decided to take a break. Battery issues. So sadly, no footage from the trail, but we still had a blast.
For dinner tonight, babe.
We have some more of my pre-made tofu tacos, which is seasoned tofu, corn, black beans, cilantro lime rice, salsa, fresh squeezed lime, and some vegan cheese. And we're trying not to do dishes. So,
Yeah.
but we really wanted some hot food because we have spent the last 3 days eating cold breakfast burritos and cold dinners. So we wanted something warm. So we put this in some foil, made a little heat pack, and now we're going to enjoy some tacos for dinner, warm.
Yummy. And I got some hot sauce I can put on that
Yeah.
if I want.
That's dinner.
What's up, everybody? I just figured I'd give you guys a little bit of an update on how we've done the last 3 days driving. And we just finished our third day, and we're here in Christina Lake. I was going to get ahead and bring up Gaia, or Onyx, and add up how many hours how many hours and miles that we have put in 3 days. And just to kind of, give you the lowdown. So, looking over our Gaia maps, which we also use on X, but day 1 was 879 miles, day 2 was 910 miles, and today was 393 miles, which I guess you could say I was slacking. But so at the end of day 3, we now have gone 2,182 miles. And looking at Gaia's, the time that has been driven, now some of that is standstill time, such as getting fuel or if we got something to eat or something like that. But the first day was 14 hours and 5 minutes. The second day was 16 hours and 11 minutes. Now again, that also includes stopping for fuel and stuff like that because the timer keeps running. But and potentially if we had to look for a place to stay, which we did yesterday, we drove up a little bit of a mountain road and then had to turn around because we couldn't find a place, and we ended up going all the way back down to the highway. But and then today we've had 12 hours of time, but again, there have been a lot of there was some standstill time of trying to figure out, making sure we were staying on the trail. There were some times where we thought we were heading the right direction, and then we realized we weren't, so we had to turn around and drive back. That was usually within a few minutes we would figure out that we were not on the right trail anymore. Because sometimes when you're out here and you're overlanding and you're just on all these dirt roads, and then all of a sudden you'll come up to a split and there's no road signs out here, so sometimes you have to try to figure out, like, am I still supposed to go this way, or do I need to turn left or right or go around this curve, so, and sometimes we make the wrong call, and you just gotta go with it and turn it around and get back on track. So that's a little rundown on our travels over the last 3 days of how many miles we actually have gone, and how many hours that we've been in that Jeep. So I don't know if co-pilot Goose over here has anything to add, but
It's been a long journey,
yeah,
but a good one.
yeah, and we're only 3 days in to this journey, so we got probably another 300 miles tomorrow, and then God knows how many miles we're gonna put on that Vancouver Island.
I know, and I can't wait.
But we'll be there.
Yep.
So, hey, and if you want to join us, just look up British Columbia, Vancouver Island. You can try to find us out there.
It's the end of day 3. We are officially in British Columbia, Canada. We're like right on the border of Washington and British Columbia. We did our first trail today, which was pretty easy. We did go off a little bit, which was not the right thing to do, but
Yeah, well, I mean, we followed what Onyx showed us, which seemed to be a little bit more of a challenging trail than the one we could have took and ended up in the same place. But it is what it is, and we made it through. But it was a pretty easy, it's mainly a Forest Service road. It was pretty easy.
Yeah. We did find an awesome little camp spot in the forest by a creek. It would have been perfect, but when we got out of the Jeep to be able to see how level we were, even though the Jeep tells us, but just to eyeball it,
Yeah.
the mosquitoes started swarming the truck trying to get into it.
Yeah.
And mosquitoes love me, and I do not react well to mosquito bites. So
No.
unfortunately, even though we have mosquito repellent and stuff like that, we still decided to continue on, and we did not find another good spot for a little bit. Got back onto some of the apps and found this spot, which is actually pretty nice if you want to check it out.
So here we are. We're just a little bit outside of Christina Lake, British Columbia. Oh, we're gonna head to Vancouver tomorrow, which is probably about 5 or so hours from here, maybe around 6 hours from here, and we'll be hanging out in Vancouver for the rest of that day, and then part of the next day, and then if we decide to stay one more day, we might, but then we will be heading to Vancouver Island.
Yeah, and you'll get to catch the ferry with us.
Yeah, we'll be catching the ferry. We'll see how that goes. We've been on a ferry once before, but it was a small ferry in the middle of nowhere in British Columbia. This will be a more busy ferry because it's right there off of Vancouver, but we'll see how it goes. Wish us luck.
Yeah. Buddy's over there chilling. He just ate dinner.
Yeah.
You saw what we just ate for dinner. It was nice to have a nice hot meal. Now we're gonna relax in our chairs for a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out right there for about an hour or so.
Yep, and then go to bed. You can hear a creek in the background, so it should be a nice night's sleep.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, so it's good.
Yeah. The first place we found had a nice creek too, but like I said, the mosquitoes were just a little too crazy.
Yep.
So, and like she said, we do have mosquito repellent, but it was starting to rain. Mosquitoes are crazy. We just decided to get a little closer to our next destination, which, it's turned out to be a great spot. Yeah. It's quiet. It's open.
By ourselves.
Yeah. We don't have to worry about Buddy running into the high grass to get a tick on him or something. So it's all good.
So good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you for watching, everyone. We have so many exciting adventures to share from Vancouver Island, so don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and hit that notification bell so you know when a new adventure drops. And if you'd like to support our journeys, check out our Patreon. Your support helps keep our adventures rolling. Click on the link in the description, and we'll see you on the road.